So a little bit of clicking and a lot of time later, we have 930 billion cookies, which is obviously going to go a long ways to different upgrades. Before we do anything, we need to take a risk and try and get half an hour worth of my CPS, which puts us over 1 trillion cookies. That gave us 97 billion, and it didn't work the second time. But we're still making 27 million cookies a second. But then I'm also going to add shipments are twice as efficient. That's for $255 billion. That puts us up to 34 million. Then we're going to add serendipity, which means golden cookies appear twice as often and stay twice as long. Now I also have 4 sugar lumps to spend, and you guys told me that farming is what we want to upgrade now. That gives us the garden. Apparently this is the most interactive of the mini games. So to start, we have 4 empty tiles. So without really understanding what I'm doing fully, we're going to plant a baker's wheat seed. That's going to cost $2 billion. So we're going to throw that right there. So then in about 20 minutes, that'll be ready to do something. Let's throw another seed down right there while we wait. You know what? I think this is stupid. I should plant seeds everywhere. They'll be worth something shortly. Plus, I still have $650 billion to spend, plus a golden cookie. Okay, that's giving me huge production boost. So I'm going to buy 10 probably shipments. Just because I can. We're currently making 320 million cookies a second, so we'll make that back fairly quickly. I feel like I should probably try and upgrade the temple to level 50, but that might not be worth the trouble. But currently I am making 1 billion cookies every 3 seconds just through time and not clicking. The bonus ended, left us with 57 billion cookies. I'm probably going to upgrade the wizard tower that many times, and then we'll do the temple after that. And I have had some stocks going for quite some time. That means if I sell them now, there's $215 billion out of those. That's definitely massive profit. Even this one, which is a single share, is worth $4 billion, and I definitely didn't pay anywhere near that much. But we're almost a quarter of the way through this next level. We only need 5.1 trillion more cookies to get there. Another thing I'm going to do while I'm bored and waiting is buy a bunch of chocolate because it's at rock bottom prices. So I'm going to spend $22 billion on that. Hopefully one day that pays off for me. 37 seconds left, not that I'm counting. But while we're waiting for that, go check out my merch, link down below. And we just got a huge cookie production cookie, so we're going to click away for a second. We're making 639 million cookies a second. That's 2/3 of a billion cookies every second plus the clicking. So that's an easy way to make 200 billion. I just clicked on this and I think I harvested it. I'm not really sure what happened. Click to unearth. Okay, we've unearthed it. Not really sure what happens now. We maybe weren't supposed to unearth them. It does say mature plants harvested, so I think I clicked that wrong. In my defense, it's very late and I'm very tired. So what I'm going to do is buy an alchemy lab, and then another alchemy lab, and then spend the rest on temples, and then I'm going to let this thing run for like 12 hours, which should be pretty good earnings at $100 million a second.
The next day,
Some hours later, and we're up to 5.4 trillion cookies. Plus, we can click this one more time, and we get an extra that many. Then if I put this into the diamond slot, where it puts us up to 125 million cookies without upgrading anything. So the first thing I want to buy for $1 trillion is a portal that opens a door to the Cookieverse. I'm not sure if that's true, but I want to try it because I can afford it. And that also gave me an achievement for a whole new world and put me up to 132 million cookies per second because each one of these adds 22 million per second. Then I'm going to buy this for 750 billion to make alchemy labs twice as efficient. That's going to add another 15 million. Then we're going to go 2 shipments to get that to 25. We're going to add a few alchemy labs because they're a better price than this. Plus, I can also double the value of this shipment. So if I click that, that's going to take me from 180 to 240 million cookies per second. Then we're going to click on the golden cookie, which means we get better production. Then we're going to click on the alchemy lab, then the shipment. Then we're going to run it downwards until we're out of money entirely. Or something. I don't know. That's good enough for me. I'm getting 1.7 billion cookies per second, so I'm going to take advantage for a minute. That brought us up to 250 billion, a quarter of a trillion. Then if I'm understanding my math correctly, if I click on one of these for $100 billion, that should add a little over 10 billion per second. And it does. 12 billion per second because I bought that. So then we're going to do that again, and then we're going to click on this one for more like 5 billion, but that's 284 million cookies per second, which is quite a lot. Even every click is worth 8.5 million. At this point, I'm also going to buy the max amount of stocks I can buy for all of these ones at the bottom. Then also, I'm going to buy this for 255 billion. Grammars are twice as efficient, but shipments gain 1% CPS. So a simple upgrade to grammars is going to yield me a lot of money. Before doing that, I'm going to conjure baked goods again. That worked against me. But I had good intentions. Lucky the game is giving me constant golden cookies today, so I'm going to take advantage of those. This one's going to be a little bit shorter, but it's giving me tons of cookies. Whatever that one did brought us up to 1.6 trillion. I really need to adjust my mouse sensitivity because I accidentally clicked on something that brought us up to 156 million. Then we're going to click on the grandma thing, which brings me up to 170 million. And that's going to double once this curse wears off. So the grandmas currently are adding 17.4% to the shipments. They're actually adding a lot to everything. They are getting expensive, but if I spend $370 billion on grandmas, we go from 171 to 175 million. That's going to double. That added about 8 million cookies per second. Another golden cookie, and we're actually making progress so good. We've hit our prestige bar once and we're like 1/6 of the way through it again. I only meant to buy a few upgrades and leave this again, but I can't help myself. But we'll see you again in another 10 hours.
Later.
Sometime later, we have 10 trillion cookies to our name. We're almost another leveled up. Plus we have a bonus. I've also planted some new seeds in the garden. I'm going to try and pay attention to these. Now our alchemy labs are currently producing 90 million cookies per second. If I buy this, that's going to double that to 180. So we're going to spend our money on that. That takes us up to almost 500 million cookies a second. I guess it makes sense before we buy anything else to hit this twice because we can get up to 15% of our total. So there's 888 billion cookies and 888 billion cookies. Plus that basically put me to where I need to go. We need $600 billion for the next level. So we can buy a few more alchemy labs and then maybe another few portals. That puts us up to 640 million. It's still cheaper to buy 3 shipments than it is to buy 1 alchemy lab, which is probably still cheaper than the portal. Maybe for fun I'll try and get the wizard tower to level 50 because then I think we can probably double its output. Not really sure how the stocks are doing. The chocolate has moved up a long way, so we could actually sell that for quite a bit of profit at this point. 1.5 trillion. And the vanilla currently is worth 1.2 trillion. I definitely did not spend anywhere near that much buying them. And I just got a 30-second bonus, so we're now making 4.7 billion cookies per second. I'm going to take advantage. That by itself took us up to 330 billion, so we'll buy a few more wizard towers. I think I've got a pretty good idea of what's going on with the farms now. I only have 1 seed available, but they're going to grow and mature. As they're maturing, they're going to give me 1% CPS each, which is shown here. I'm getting 1% total right now because they're not mature. So now that I understand that we can simply grow things and they're going to improve me, let's upgrade this one more time with another sugar lump. And probably just throw a few more of these in here because why wouldn't I? What did that cost? $44 billion. But that's giving me extra earnings. We're now at, well, plus 1%, but that's going to climb. So now we'll just sit back and wait to see what these are going to do exactly. Also, I'm going to upgrade the adamantium mouse because we're currently making 22.5 million per click. This is going to bring us up to 30 million. Which is a decent increase, and we got a cookie, so we're going to start clicking again. That little bonus left us with $1.25 trillion. But I'm also pretty sure if I increase this by 2%, that's going to give me 15 million extra cookies per second. Yes, my math is correct. And we'll still work on getting that wizard tower to level 50. Okay, looking back at the farm, here is actually where the garden information is. I was mistaken earlier, so we're getting 1.95% CPS bonus from these seeds. And I got yet another cookie frenzy, so I'm getting those almost constantly right now, and that's great. That brought us up to 1.4 trillion. Our farm is currently giving us a bonus of 2.5%. That's actually pretty good. So we're going to buy 2 more wizard towers and hopefully be able to increase that. We're going to need $16 trillion to do it. That would add another $65 million of income though. So for now, I'm just going to add smaller things like the alchemy lab and shipment just to get the numbers up a little bit. To hit the next level, I'm going to need about 35 trillion more cookies. So now that these are actually maturing, we're getting a almost 5% boost, which is huge. And I'm feeling lucky again, so let's... Nope. Probably should have started with the one to make spells backfire less often, but while we're at it, we'll click this to get another 201 billion cookies while we wait. Alright, all of my farm seeds are finally mature. That's giving me a total boost of 6%, which again is huge. And they're all mature currently, but they will start to decay in a little while. But by harvesting them, they can drop new seeds, so I'm going to go ahead and harvest them right now. I don't know if this is a great idea, but we did it. I also just got something that I think it said boosted cookie production by 1000% for a few minutes. Whatever the case, we're currently making 4.3 billion cookies a second. We definitely didn't get any new seeds, so we're going to plant another 6, and hopefully harvesting these will give us what we need. Maybe we need a total of 10. We could try fertilizer to make it tick every 3 minutes. It makes it faster, it makes them less effective, but they'll mature faster, we can harvest them faster. And another golden cookie plus an achievement later, we're making 5.57 billion cookies per second, so this is going to stack up pretty quick. That brought us all the way up to 4.5 trillion, which means we're like 1/6 of the way to the next level. Next, I think I'm going to buy the transmuted grandmas for 3.75 trillion. Alchemy labs gain 1 whatever, so 864 million per second. which is a pretty big boost. And then it's definitely worth more of my time to buy alchemy labs because they're going to give me a 22 million boost each. We can buy one more for now. I guess while I'm at it, I might as well buy the bank upgrade for only 70 billion. It's going to add a few million, but it's cheap enough. Okay, so next I think we're going to spend $1 trillion on Zebra Cookie because it's about equivalent to an alchemy lab right now. But that's going to bring me up to 912 million. 932 million per second rather. Then we're also going to buy an alchemy lab, 955 million per second. The new seeds are all mature again, so I think we're going to harvest them, hopefully getting a new seed along the way. Still not sure I'm understanding that properly. I also suspect that Grandma is going to have a new upgrade at level 150, which might be pretty good, so we're going to see if that's a thing or not. Alright, Grandma, please be of some kind of use. So there is an upgrade. It basically makes Grandma's twice as efficient. So that's going to add about $4 million to my earnings, which isn't a lot, but the upgrade's pretty cheap overall. Next, I'm going to spend $3 trillion on one portal and one alchemy lab. That put us up to 990 million per second. I could probably even upgrade just a few of these lesser things right now to put us up to about $1 billion. Better yet, I could even sell all my stocks for I don't know how much money. But I'm just going to go ahead and do that now because they've certainly earned. And I got an achievement for that, but that brought me up to $4.3 trillion. Plus that achievement brought us up to 999 million. I feel like earning $1 billion per second might be an achievement. Yup, there's another one, so we're at $1.023 billion per second. Some more time later, we've saved up 22 trillion cookies, which is just about enough for the next level. Give or take $2 trillion, but that shouldn't actually take long. So next I'm going to click the golden cookie, and then we're going to click spells backfire 10 times less for the next 5 minutes. Since that worked, we're also going to do this, which is going to award us 2 trillion cookies, which pushed us over the limit. But then I also kind of want to see what the time machine does. It produces 200 million cookies per one, so that actually gave us a 20% increase for a single item. Next, we can make portals twice as expensive, twice as efficient for $10 trillion. That's going to take us from 1.275 to 1.461. That's about another 200 million cookies per second. Even every click now gets us 60 million. But I feel like we're ready to restart again because we're going to get lots of bonuses. Hopefully this is actually a good idea. So after forfeiting 64 trillion cookies, I gain 3 prestige levels. Which hilariously looks like it's enough to buy heavenly cookies and that's it. Cookie production multiplier plus 10%. But then beyond that, it looks like we'll be able to get some new stuff as well. So it's back to doing what we do best.
Restarting the whole thing but getting 10% more.
But I have a bit of a different strategy this time that I think might work well, might also be horrible. In hindsight, I maybe could have waited a little bit longer to prestige, but I really wanted whatever bonuses I could get, so at least we have a 10% increase. Also, we have our first mine, and that's going to add a lot per second. Then, since farms are currently making 40% of my income, let's double them. That put us from 230 to 320. Then we're going to buy some more grandmas. The seeds for farming are already pretty expensive. It's going to cost me 20,000 per seed right now, and that's going to increase. 20,000 isn't necessarily cheap right now. But let's see if we can bring Grandma up to 25 because she's really the big player in all this. She's what's going to carry us far. Got our first golden cookie that simply gave me 2,748. Buying 2 more levels of mine put us back over 500 cookies per second. Next I'm going to buy the cursor upgrade. I swear I looked away for 2 seconds and we're up to 140,000, so we're also going to buy a factory while we wait because that's going to put us up to 827. And that means we can get back to the 50,000 we need fairly quickly. Next, we can use this 50,000 to again make Grandma's twice as efficient, which puts us up to 940. We're almost back up to 1,000 per second already. Then we can use our $55,000 to upgrade the Destroyer of Worlds. That's going to add like another 50% to our income. Not quite, but my math gets a little wonky as I get tired. But we're already up to 2,000 cookies a second, so this is going well. I think next what I want is probably to hit farming level 25, but I'm also going to get 1,000 fingers, which will take me from 27 per click to 34 per click, which is a pretty good increase. Also just clicked on the golden cookie, so we have a 29,000 cookies per second for a little while. And that means I can finally afford the bank I wanted for 1.4 million, but we're going to keep clicking. That's going to leave us with about 2.5 million to spend. Which brings us to the stock market. I can buy 1 share of butter, say, for $350,000. Later on, that's going to be worth hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars. And it only costs $350,000 now. So I'm going to try and do that for everything I can. It's going to get expensive, but I'm going to buy absolutely everything I can. Probably would be better to buy at low prices, but these are going to be worth so much later, it's not really going to matter. Because the mines are now worth 108 each. So we could buy a few of those. The garden is also currently giving me plus 3%. Can already afford the next mine upgrade. So that's going to take us from 6678 to 8,000, plus we can buy some mines because they're not that expensive yet. Plus 50% of my current prestige level, which gave me a little boost. Next, we're going to take this next $1 million and spend it all on mines because I want to get those to 25. We're already up to 10,000 cookies per second. Plus there's the new grandma upgrade. Grandmas are twice as efficient, but the mines gain plus 1% per 2 grandmas. So they're going to get a 17% increase just on this. That gave us a 10% overall increase, and we can buy more mines. And the money's going up pretty quickly now. That should be enough to buy the final 2 levels. The next mine upgrade is $6 million, so that's a little ways away. But we're ready for it when the time comes, and those mines are making me tons of money already. But now we can work on things like the factory, which is half the price of a mine, less than half the price of a mine, for more cookies. Factory number 6 brings us up to 14,000 cookies per second. The seeds here are still growing nicely. They're giving us a 3.5% boost right now. But I feel like this is also a great time to let the game run for 100 hours, then come back and get a mega upgrade.